Hello, welcome back to Kaiserreich. So the first thing we should do the moment we start this episode is to choose the national focus. It's going to be a defense contractor so we can move further down this path. I've been looking at some of these and I want to ask a question to you guys. And that is, once we actually win this war, because we are going to win this war, you know, have no doubt. But once we win this war, who should we go with here? Because we have 4 different focus trees depending on who we elect to rule the nation, basically, once... So who should that be? The Democrats give us this path of the tree, which has some overlap with the Republicans in the middle here, with the Gospel of Wealth and the Bureau of the Budget. If we go with the Progressives or the Republicans, we get some overlap over here. While Farmer Labor gives us some overlap over here, I think. Farmer Labor is a Social Democrat. Progressives is the Progressive Party, aka Social Liberals, and then we have the Republicans, aka Market Liberals, and then we got the Democrats, which are Social Conservatives. Now, of course, you need to keep in mind the politics of this era are very different from the politics of today. The Democrats are not the Democrats of today. These Democrats are extremely... yeah, they're extremely socially conservative and fiscally moderate. So they have stuff like moral education. They have clamping down on syndicalism, Immigration Act, which lessens immigration. They've got a bunch of like Christian dogma. Much different from the Democrats of today. So, like, there are segregationists among the Democrats, a significant portion. Same with the Republicans, but that's not the kind of thing you would see today, I don't think. So keep that in mind. I'm sort of leaning more towards the right here, but I'm not quite sure. Right, or ironically, being the left here, but yeah. I want to ask you guys, because some of those might be better, and some of those might be more interesting, even though I might not view them as such at first glance, but you might have some arguments for why. Anyways, let's get back into the fighting. With this beautiful Carabina 3030. Not quite sure how loud it is on your end. Probably very low. Let's turn it up a little bit. I'd have to change that constantly. I have to like change the levels, adjust them all the time, because the music isn't very well mastered in the Kaiserreich music mod. It's not very well equalized or whatever. I'm not quite sure what the actual term is. The audio engineering term. But yeah. Success of Operation Glacier. Oh well, so that fired last episode and now it's already over. With the capture of the states of Idaho, Utah and Arizona, Operation Glacier has been called a resounding success by our high command. With the Rockies secured and our industry safely behind it, we now possess a good staging ground to attack the Great Plains on the south, with which we shall drive the radicals back and secure our nation. Awesome. That's a lot of troops down here. So I'm thinking that we'll push in the north and keep the south kind of idle. And my argument for that is that we have far more enemies on the line in the south than we do in the north. And a lot of our troops in the south haven't really gotten onto the line. Also some good music. Dude, I love the Kaiserreich music mod. It's got some great songs in it. Just scanning over every now and then to look at the Russian-German war, or the Russo-German war, to see how that's going, and as well as the Arab revolt here, supported by the Republic of Iran. Interesting, I've actually never seen them go Republic before. Social Democrats, that's cool. I've only seen them as like Persia or whatever. I think it's like an aristocracy or something.
Commands. Ready. Listen up. Ready, sir.
Yeah, that's a lot of syndicalist troops there. I'm not very keen on pushing into that at all. I think instead we should get someone else to hold that line and send those motorized troops down south. I think we want to leave the syndicalists to the longists and focus on pushing against long. Brazilian volunteers even more. Let's do push on the longest front, giving us a bonus of 25% against that country, attack bonus, for 90 days. Oh, of course, and I should probably send our fighters and stuff off this way. Though we don't really have a lot of range here, because we don't have a lot of airports. The airports are all situated on the west coast here, it seems. We could use some in the middle of America. Try to look if there's any, or to see if there's any like airports up here, but I don't think so. I think we should probably make an airport somewhere like Denver, very central. Or perhaps Cheyenne would be better because it's slightly further north. Cuban manufacturing support expired, but we never got to see what it was. While Cuba's industrial capacity is relatively small, its industrial assistance was much appreciated. That assistance is now wound down, however, while the war rages on. Should we ask the Cubans to pledge further support? I didn't see what the original support was, and I want to ask, but they're going to want something in return, so I'm going to say the gesture was appreciated, leave it be. Right, cool. Colorado is almost done. If we take these two provinces, we can recruit more militias there. Oh god, the Second Weltkrieg. This is really bad, because the Germans are busy fighting the Weltkrieg, meaning the World War, claimed the lives of countless, I believe it means the World War, countless young men from all over the world, in a conflict on an industrial scale, but it appears that even the nightmare could not deter man's lust for blood. After 20 years of proxy warfare, diplomatic pressure, and political squabbles, the uneasy peace between Germany and France has broken down. These two great powers are now mobilizing their armies in preparation for a war like the likes of which the world has never seen. New guns, planes, ships, tanks, and deadlier weapons will still see their first use on the battlefield as open warfare begins once more in Europe. For the Germans and the French now, there can be only one end: victory or destruction. War is hell. Indeed. Indeed it is. Oh shit, we're actually losing here in Bismarck. I'm gonna try to attack to prevent that from happening. Maybe we should get the State Guard up there as well. I'm extremely hesitant because I don't know... Oh, Denmark is joined Reichspakt as well. I'm sorry. Extremely hesitant to do so because I'm unsure what capacity the enemy has for causing further rebellions in our territories. When I see a battle going well, I may as well support it. Yeah, we lost Bismarck, that's fine. We'll take it back and then potentially run the cavalry up behind the Syndicalist troops. Also, they have unique models, that's kind of cool. They got some red shirts underneath their black there. That might be based on, or it might just straight up be, models for the Spanish in the Spanish-American War, though it does look like they've got an American patch there, like a rank patch on the arm. Like the echelons or whatever. Rashidi Arabia has capitulated. Uncertain times. And formation flying is done. We could have done the focus that gives us that in the US Air Force part of things, but we're going to do that anyways later on, and then we can do the further down, or the focus is further down. Joint Chiefs of Staff. Creation of High Command able to coordinate the Army, Air, and Naval efforts is needed to win this war and keep our military up to date with modern theoretical standards. Oh god. This is the final episode I'm recording today, so the brain has begun to turn to mush. I've used up my vocal or my capacity for vocalization and stuff. The verbal I don't even know what I would call it. The verbal part of my brain has begun to leak out my ear. There's only one militia unit there, so I'll just attack again with the motorized. In terms of guns, how many do we have? Because we could actually improve the militias. Are these technically National Guard? No, they're PSA militia. Yeah, we could actually, let's see here. Oh, we can't edit them? That's too bad. Probably because they're event spawned. Oh yeah, I actually completely forgot. I was going to make some new division designs. Well, I'll do that live, because we're not necessarily doing too much micromanagement right now. So, we have the heavy tank, called the heavy cavalry, which is fine, honestly. Might change it once it's actually been trained. And then we have the armored cavalry, which is terrible. So I'm going to start removing all these cavalry guys. Actually, I'm going to just convert them to motorized infantry. And remove, and how about this? There we go. Now it's a tank division or an armored division. It'll be named like one as well. Armored cavalry, and there we go. The width 16, let's see if we can't increase that width a little bit. Width 20, that's perfect. Save. The fall of Madrid. And it has fallen to Carlos, Spain. And we have fighting all across the line in Europe here. The Siegfried line here, and the French along, I don't know what this line would be called, but I'm sure they have fortresses there. The Russians are pushing into Finland. And Ukrainians are pushing into Russia. Commune of France and Denmark have signed a peace treaty. What happened there? How did Denmark get yeeted out of the war? Huh. Doesn't make much sense. Oh, they might have fought over... No, they wouldn't have. No, I don't know, dude. I've seen that happen before, but I'm not quite sure why that happens. Like, they join the Reichspakt and then they get thrown out of it. Might be some sort of event inside their government or something. Oh, this is good. When they push up against the Canadian border, it becomes very, very easy to encircle.
Attention. Ready, sir.
Yeah, I think we're gonna set these guys to attack like... God, that's messy. Like so. We mostly want them to attack into the mountains, and we'll use the National Guard to support manually as need be. Let's see, how are these training? Yeah, the training is going well. Should stop the training there. Those guys are all almost done training. French equipment as well, nice, thank you. We'll stop their training, I think, and we should train the reserves as well. Once we get these guys' organization up, we're going to move in here and encircle these guys.
Orders.
Yeah, the Syndicalists do seem to have the superior army here compared to the Longists.
Attention.
Yemen and the Ottoman Empire signed a peace treaty. That's why I couldn't click anything there for a moment. Game lags every time that happens. Alright, let's go. Oh, they're automatically helping out for the most part. Not over here though, because I'm guessing they didn't see the need. Always a need because it does allow, or it does give a bunch of bonuses here. Oh, they have air superiority here. How? 200, that's American Union state there. You can see the insignias. The same planes we have, but painted differently. Yeah, they shouldn't have air superiority, though. Where are the airports? The airports might be closer to them. Which is why. Not sure. Fucking P-51s there. We don't have any P-51s, so that's just the one model they had, I guess. Have a look at our planes here, because I saw the changes to the... Yeah, we have the American flag with maybe the naval jack at the back, and we got like a blue sort of Air Force insignia, or like a slightly bluer, I think. Looks mostly normal US, but with some more stripes, I think. And the CSA, they have their red stuff, like the red stars and stuff. Alright, let's see, Army Rangers, which gives Special Forces, or we can do Defense Logistics Agency, which grants out of supply and supply consumption and reinforcement. Oh, this one is really good. Or the Walkie-Talkie, which gives electronics research. I'm gonna go with this one and then Walkie-Talkie afterwards, because I think we're going to be closer towards this. Oh, actually, are at that already. In fact, then I'm gonna do the Walkie-Talkie first. Glad you can cancel this stuff now. Couldn't do that in the past. Alright, let's see. We will have to amass some more troops up here if we're gonna push in here. The Syndicalists just have way too many troops.
Orders. Keep moving. Commands. Yes, sir.
Oh, the Dutch Revolution. Oh boy, the Batavian Commune. The country has been in chaos since the burning down of the Binnenhof in The Hague by the syndicalist Marinus van der Lubbe, which caused the government to declare a state of emergency. After a leftist mutiny on a small navy vessel and subsequent revolt in Groningen province in the north, revolutionary sentiment quickly spread and army units defected. So now we have David Wynkoop, I think. Is that how you say it? Wynkoop? Wynkoop? I don't know. I'm not Dutch. I can't speak Dutch. I'm sorry if I butchered his name. The Patriots. Or Patriots. He's a totalist. Big oof. And Dutch East Indies has joined the Reichspakt. Cuban equipment arrives. Thank you, Cuba. And the Dominionists win in South Africa. I believe that usually means that they will approach the Entente, though it doesn't always happen. But Union of South Africa under Jan Christian Smuts. Also, oh, that's Afrikaans, I believe, which is heavily Dutch influenced. It's such like a hodgepodge language that if you hear it as a Norwegian, you might sometimes think you're hearing Norwegian. Support from the Resistance. The Resistance gives us some guns and political power still. We've got way too much political power. We gotta figure out what to do with this. Oh yeah, we'll be researching equipment soon, and we will be researching light tanks. That's only medium tank though. That's too bad. We won't be researching fighters yet either. We don't really need any of this other stuff. I guess I'll save it for a little bit. We do have like a maximum, I think, of 2,000. So it should be good. Oh, that makes sense. That's why the Danish left the Reichspakt. Socialdemokraterne took power, and Thorvald Stauning is in power now. And they have... yeah, they left the Reichspakt, so the Germans declared war on them for some reason. Okay, they're attacking us now from multiple directions. This is problematic. Let's send in the State Guard. We got a bunch of infantry divisions coming out soon. I'll put in another one for training, or another two actually. We'll need a bunch more, I think. I didn't really see the force disparity comparing or between us and the syndicalists, so I didn't really see the need for that many divisions immediately, but I now see it. So after we're done taking out this, we're going to send the Pacific, the Midwestern Resistance up to well, the Midwest. In fact, we can probably give this guy some cool... oh yeah, this is Vandergrift, who might actually end up being a paratrooper commander, but let's see if we can give anyone else any good traits. Henry H. Arnold can take... offensive doctrine is really good. So is defensive doctrine. I'll give him defensive doctrine, honestly, because... oh, and also logistics wizard is really good as well. I give him logistics wizard and defensive doctrine, because currently we need to be able to hold across this line, and those traits those traits affect... that's what I was trying to say. Those traits affect every single army under his command, which of course includes these guys. You guys need to stop that. Should probably hold this attack plan, even though they're being effective over here. They're not being effective across the entire line because they're also facing the syndicalists. I need to sort of split those. I need to reorganize this army line setup here, or the line setup, front line setup, because the armies that are facing the syndicalists face different challenges from the ones facing the Union. In the sense that, or like they have different needs essentially. But we got more cavalry from militias here. Yeah, they're facing different challenges. Also, we need to retreat. So maybe we can set it up so that the white here is facing the longists and the yellow is facing the syndicalists, because they seem to have the stronger army. While yeah, Huey along, his armies are collapsing fairly easily, I would say, to pressure.
Ready, sir. Ready to move. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Thompson is soon. And we can do special forces. I don't think we're gonna need that though yet. Wanna do artillery and stuff instead. How long until the walkie-talkie? We'll wait until the walkie-talkie is done before we do the next research. Okay, now the push against the longest is over, so we'll pull back the Midwestern resistance up north and start a push against the syndicalists. Can we do more than one? We can only do one. Okay, so I think maybe then we'll save the push against the syndicalists, because I believe this war is going to end with a war between the Pacific states and the combined syndicates. Kingdom of Ukraine declared war on the Kingdom of Ukraine. Meaning, of course, the Socialist Republic of Ukraine under Nikita Khrushchev. He was, at one point, the head of the Soviet Union in the original timeline, after the death of Stalin. Also a good film. Let's see, yeah, logistics agency. Cool, I did the computing machine completely on autopilot. I didn't even realize I did that. Sort of gain those, like, you know, muscle memory reflexes when you play enough Hearts of Iron 4. Why join the Entente? Fuck. And we can't reconquer that then. Cool flag though. Like the islands, I guess. Henry Alexander Baldwin. Where have I heard that name before? It's not Alec Baldwin, of course. That's a different man.
Keep on attacking. Attention. Ready to move. Orders. Commands.
Should be able to take El Paso with these two, I think.
Let them have it.
Okay, cool. Setting up the State Guard actually worked. We are holding for now. I'm trying to keep them from, like, actually attacking when they reach, like, because this guy was assigned to the front line, and the front line was here, so he's trying to still get to that point, which is stupid because these guys are not designed for attacking; they're designed for defending.
Move out. Let's go.
It drove us miners out of doors, out from the houses that the company owned. We moved into
That was fast. Sorry if I bashed my keyboard really hard there. I was just pausing real fast and reacted real fast to that piece of surprising news there. So, the Entente has declared war on the Union of Britain, which was bound to happen with the start of the Second Weltkrieg, but now we have the entire Entente fighting the Syndicalists, and they are trying to return home to the British Isles. King Edward the 8th? Yeah, King Edward the 8th is trying to. Also, we are at that time where we should end the episode. However, I was doing something and I completely forgot what I was doing. Fuck. That news just completely caught me off guard. Well, either way, thank you so much for watching. Next episode, I believe we're going to try to, let's see here. next episode might not actually be recorded for a long time, so I might completely forget what I'm talking about now, but I think we're gonna actually continue the push against the south here and try to just shore up this, or shore this up just enough to hold, because the syndicalists are committing more to this than we are committing to defending it. And you can see they are actually like, they're quite low on organization and stuff in a lot of these units. So while the longists are kind of weak down here, we're going to push and keep the push going, keep up the momentum, so that we can potentially capture some of the resource-rich regions and take them before the syndicalists can potentially take them. Texas here is very rich in oil, and I don't want the syndicalists to have any of that. Once we've taken Texas, we can rebase our navy here and start actually messing with CSA trade. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so by following the links in the description down below. Twitter is great for keeping up to date with what's happening with the episodes, and Discord is great for reaching out to me or the other members of the community. If you'd like to support me financially, you can do so using Patreon. $1 or above, there's only one tier. Very egalitarian, also very lazy. And that is about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.